Tonight, rain giving way to snow as a whopper of a winter storm approaches. Travel already not recommended on roads around Regina, Saskatoon, Moose Jaw, and more. Plus, buses, after-school events, and others canceled in anticipation of the storm's arrival.
This is CTV News.
Good evening. Welcome to CTV News at 5. A wintry weather system is rolling through Saskatchewan today, and more is expected to be on the way. Jacob Carr has the details on hazardous conditions we're looking at as a result of this weather system.
Salting residential sidewalks and walkways a common sight in Regina as freezing rain pelts the city. Another Alberta clipper is making its way through Saskatchewan as the province gears up for a mix of rain, snow, and wind.
Just south of Highway 16, that band maybe upwards of 20 centimeters of fresh snow with that. To the south, we're seeing some freezing rain, which is pretty tricky through the southeast, and in the southwest, some really gusty wind.
As a result of the slippery road conditions in Regina, the city canceled garbage, recycling, and food and yard waste pickup on Wednesday. The city of Moose Jaw following suit, even closing down recreational facilities like the Yara Center and Kinsman Sportsplex early Wednesday afternoon.
It's going to get icy out. There's no doubt with the flash freezing. We do have our ice control people out. They'll be running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The Saskatchewan Ministry of Highways is urging people to check out the highway hotline when considering travel. The resource will show up-to-date highway closures as well as routes where travel is not recommended. City workers, highway ministry officials, and meteorologists all agree that the best option is to avoid roads altogether if possible.
It's one of those days that if you can hunker down and just stay put, this is the day to do it. If you can postpone travel, if you can postpone appointments, shopping, anything like that. If you can postpone it until tomorrow, it's probably the best decision that you can make.
Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Now, those arriving at Saskatchewan airports had a not-so-warm welcome today, the storm causing a number of delays and cancellations for travelers, while Saskatoon's airport is actively clearing snow and ice in order to keep operations moving. WestJet, Air Canada, and Rise Air have all made preemptive cancellations in anticipation of the storm.
We've had quite a few preemptive cancellations, I would say. That's airlines that start to make those cancellation decisions actually ahead of the weather events, who help kind of protect their network so that they can start rebooking people in a timely fashion. So we've had about 6 or 7 inbound cancellations and about 7 outbound cancellations today.
Several cancellations are also affecting Regina Airport's arrivals and departures. We'll continue to follow this for you as the storm picks up. And we will continue that right now with Sabine Ahmed in the Weather Center. Sabine, we know this is a significant system, but the best comparison I can make is like in a movie when everybody puts their hands on their ears waiting for a big explosion. And then you take them down and you go, where is it? And then boom, there it is.
Yeah, and you know what? My messages have been filled with like, are you sure it's coming in our area? We're waiting. And now, I mean, obviously Saskatoon, we already saw some visuals of it, seeing quite a bit more of that snowfall coming through. The winds have picked up. We saw wind gusts up to about 75 kilometers an hour. It's been a slow brew for parts of southern Saskatchewan. We're still in the blizzard warnings right now, and we are seeing more, as we heard in Jacob's story, more of that freezing rain. And that freezing rain is still continuing. We are under a freezing rain warning right now as well. You can see in the southwest, still under those high wind warnings as well, where we're seeing winds up to 100 kilometers an hour. The southeast, where we were seeing winter storm watches, they are now officially under the blizzard warnings as well. Now, we aren't seeing that Arctic air mass coming through as quick as we thought it would, where we would see those temperatures dip much cooler. We're still going to see those temperatures drop significantly heading into tomorrow. But as you can see on the radar satellite, the system is continuing to make its way through the province, including southern Saskatchewan, and you can see right there that those temperatures are going to dip down. But again, the main importance that we want to talk about, of course, is how highway travel and just even in the city is going to be affected by that cold, and we're seeing it already as we've been watching the highway hotline.
And we'll take a live look at the highway hotline now as well. Travel conditions again around Regina, Saskatoon. You can see in blue where travel is not recommended. If you need a closer look for anything that you're planning tonight or into tomorrow, or honestly as far as this storm is going to be sticking around, make sure to keep a careful eye on this. You can see lots of yellow, lots of purple, as well as lots of blue, which is again travel not recommended. Purple is covered, yellow is partly covered, and red is closed entirely. Not seeing any closures at this point. However, again, travel not recommended is the step just below a closure. So we haven't quite gotten to that point yet. But again, keep an eye on the highway hotline. We'll keep an eye on for you as well. In the meantime, in anticipation of the intense storm, many services across the province did close today. All Prairie Spirit schools closed today, while classes were dismissed at noon for schools in the Horizon School Division. Both Regina Public Schools and Regina Catholic Schools called off extracurricular activities for the evening. That includes band and Christmas concerts. Moose Jaw halted city transit entirely today, while the Saskatoon Food Bank was also closed.
The decision really was, kind of based on what the forecast was, and, perhaps the city was saying that fewer people on the roads would be a good idea. So ultimately came to the decision that we would just close for the day.
And again, we'll have the very latest for you on the storm on air and online as the situation progresses tonight. The Prince Albert Grand Council says it's asking for answers after videos circulated online depicting an Indigenous man in an impaired state laying outside the Victoria Hospital in winter weather. A statement from police regarding the incident says the man had been evicted from a property prior to police arrival. Grand Chief Brian Hardlots wants the Saskatchewan Health Authority to assess the actions of security staff during the incident, and says the Grand Council has reached out to the Health Authority.
That shouldn't happen in this day and age, especially in the hospital setting. So concerning. So things, we're going to ask for changes within and I'm hoping that the Saskatchewan Health Authority works with us on this one.
The SHA says it's met with the Grand Council and continues to collaborate with police and is completing an internal review. The Shabbat Jewish Center of Regina held their annual Hanukkah celebration at the legislature last night.
Beautiful.
Members of Regina's Jewish community gathered for the lighting of a 20-foot menorah marking the third night of Hanukkah. The ceremony brought people together to reflect on tradition, community, and the message of light throughout the 8-day festival. During the event, Rabbi Simmons also acknowledging tragic events at Bondi Beach in Australia, emphasizing the importance of love and kindness. It follows a similar menorah lighting in Saskatoon held earlier this week. Yorkton RCMP are reaching out to the public, asking anyone with information on a fatal collision involving a pedestrian last month to come forward. It happened around 5:40 p.m. on November 15th on Mayhew Avenue in the city's northeast. The pedestrian, an 86-year-old man, was taken to hospital where he later died. The driver did remain on scene. Anyone with information is asked to call RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Regina City Council spent the day discussing a motion from Mayor Chad Bashinsky that would knock off 5% from the projected mill rate increase. If approved, the changes would take the projected mill rate increase down from more than 15% to 10.73. That's the result of a $12 million expenses cut and deferrals for 2026.
This is a challenging budget year. We've heard a lot about how we've kept budgets artificially low for years. And we've heard from delegates that made it very clear that we don't want to see a drastic increase in our taxes, and at the same time, we don't want to reduce services and cut the things that make our city livable and vibrant.
The 10.73% tax hike is not final at this point, as councillors work through additional adjustments, including either service enhancements or further cuts. Council continues to debate the budget with meetings scheduled all the way through Friday. Starting in 2026, a local elder will be available for prayer, smudge, and guidance for both victims and offenders during court sessions in Kamsack. It comes after Cody First Nation held a blessing ceremony at the Kamsack Courthouse on Tuesday. Organizers say the event marks another step towards reconciliation. Elder support and guidance will be available every Tuesday. Cody First Nation says it will help build trustful relationships, provide alternative support, and decrease the number of offenses while using traditional teachings in the process.
Have one of our community leaders, our cultural people, sitting here in the courthouse with a friendly face, cultural knowledge of our traditional ways, support not only for the offenders but the victims as well.
The new initiative is funded by Cody First Nation. Still ahead, more off-season moves for the Riders heading into the holidays, including a re-signing, a former Bomber, and a former U of S Husky, all joining the green and white. A combination of the flu bug and the snowstorm making its way through Saskatchewan, forcing the postponement of 4 SJHL games.
With travel not recommended around pretty much the entire province, Melville at Melfort has been canceled, and so is Kindersley at Warman. So no games today.
Yesterday, the Humboldt Broncos posted on social media that their Tuesday night game against the Battleford's North Stars would be canceled due to an influenza outbreak. Today, the SJHL announced all games would be postponed due to the winter storm, making road travel unsafe. LaRange was scheduled to play in Nipawin, Kindersley was set to play in Warman, and Melville was heading up to Melfort tonight. The LaRange-Nipawin matchup was already rescheduled from last week due to an ice plant issue in LaRange, and a flu outbreak on the Hawks team meant that game would already be postponed. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have extended the contract of Canadian running back Thomas Bertrand-Houdon for another season.
Knocking on the door again for the Riders. Handing off. Bertrand has one touchdown. He has 2.
In a backup role, Bertrand-Houdon had 166 yards rushing and 38 yards through the air, scoring 2 touchdowns, both in the season opener against Ottawa after A.J. Ouellette left the game with a concussion. The Quebec product has been a Rider since the team selected him in round 4 of the 2023 CFL draft. The Riders also shoring up their offensive and defensive lines today with some new additions.
Arbuckle wanted to get it out quick and won't have the opportunity, flying through the middle of that defense. It's Devin Adams.
Defensive lineman Devin Adams and national offensive lineman Dayton Black are signing with the Riders. Adams spent the last 2 seasons with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, picking up 25 defensive tackles in 24 games, along with 6 sacks. Dayton Black, originally from Brandon, Manitoba, has spent time with the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Ottawa Red Blacks the last few years, and is a former U of S Husky. After the break, we'll get back to your full weather forecast ahead of what's expected to be an escalation of a winter storm. The winter storm moving through Saskatchewan has already resulted in a high number of calls over collisions and stranded vehicles, according to police.
If you abandon your vehicle, just know that we still have to check it. So keep in mind when you're heading out, if you get in a situation like that, our priority is always going to be responding to collisions and other urgent situations. It may take us a while to get to you for that kind of help.
Saskatchewan RCMP say they responded to 29 weather-related calls between midnight and 2 p.m. today as icy roads continue to cause collisions and strand vehicles across the province. Dangerous conditions, including freezing rain, snow, and strong winds, are expected to continue through tonight and tomorrow morning. RCMP are reminding drivers to avoid travel unless absolutely essential and to always check the highway hotline before heading out, which is a line that we're repeating a bunch tonight, Sabine, because it is an important piece of advice, especially as we wait for this wave of snow to approach. We thought that this storm was going to bring more so snowmageddon, but so far it's more of an ice apocalypse, and neither one of them are great.
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on where you are in the province and who you ask, Cole, because again, as we have seen in Saskatoon, yes, they have seen quite more of that snow, and that Arctic air mass has made its way through Saskatoon, and I'll explain why as soon as we take a look outside through our Skycam. Taking a look at Regina, though, you can already see the amount of traffic and how slow moving it is right now. This is obviously after work traffic, but because of that ice that Cole just mentioned, we have seen more of that ice in southern Saskatchewan, in particular in the Regina and surrounding areas. Currently sitting at -18 with a wind chill value of -8, or did I say 18? It's currently -8 with a wind chill value of -18, and the wind sitting at about 35, gusting up to 50 right now. In Saskatoon, that's ice. It's very, very frosty in Saskatoon. We're currently sitting at -17 with a wind chill of -32. The winds are sitting at just over 55, gusting up to 75 right now. So Saskatoon is feeling the effects of this blizzard. They are under a blizzard warning right now, and that is expected to continue. Weren't under a freezing rain advisory, so they are just, we're seeing the effects of the blizzard warning in the Saskatoon surrounding areas there. And as this system continues to make its way through, you can see under the blanket of that snow, we're still under those blizzard warnings for much of central southern Saskatchewan. Over in the southwest, we're still under those wind warnings. And again, as yesterday we were seeing in the southeast, they were under a winter storm watch that has upgraded to a straight blizzard warning. Now, and as Cole and I were having this conversation, I know many people think, oh, it's not coming towards us, but as this system is continuing to rotate and make its way through, it's just going to be a little bit more delayed than what we thought. But in southern Saskatchewan, again, because of the warmer temperatures and not that Arctic air mass coming through earlier than we thought it was going to be coming through, we've been seeing more of that rain and freezing rain mix that's been through much of southern Saskatchewan. Regina saw quite a bit of it throughout the day today as well. As we head into the evening, this is where we see the bulk of that snow. Now, I'm going to point this out again just when we talk about this system showing up. When we see the darker shades, that's going to suggest that we're seeing moderate to heavy snowfall. So there are little pockets that are going to continue to make their way through as we see the system clear out by tomorrow morning. That's where we see that Arctic air mass. Temperatures drastically dropping before we head into Friday. The winds expected to pick up again as we have another clipper coming through. You can't see it clearly right now, but this is actually part of the atmospheric river that's actually coming through America. So down in the States, they're dealing with flood warnings and heavy rainfall, and actually connected right to it is another clipper that's going to be making its way through on Friday. So we'll see more of that snow, and right around the border again, more rain and freezing rain expected. As we head into Saturday, that's where we will see another Arctic air pressure come through with those temperatures much cooler than average. So between now and tomorrow morning, this is the updated look of what we can expect. The lighter shaded areas, we could see locally higher snowfall expected, but this is what the updated models are showing us. So into Friday, we can see more snow. So between now into Friday morning, expecting to see up to about 15 centimeters for many parts of south central Saskatchewan. Parkland, Yorkton area, up to about 30 centimeters. Temperatures tonight, as I've been mentioning, we'll see colder than seasonal tomorrow. Depending on where we are, we're in seasonal range for Swift Current at -8, but then we're getting colder than seasonal in many other parts. For Regina tomorrow, we're at -20, mainly sunny conditions, but the snow, high winds, and then seasonal temperatures return Friday before we see a drop again to -21 on Saturday, sunny -17 on Sunday, and by Monday, mostly cloudy, inching closer back into seasonal range at -13. And for Saskatoon, similar story, -20 tomorrow, mainly sunny. The snow returns on Friday, dipping to warming up to -13 as a daytime high, and then we're back down to -23 and sunny by Saturday, sunny on Sunday, -22, and another snowfall expected on Monday with -19 is the high.
The Brandt Centre in Regina, once known as the Agrodome, has been around a long time. Many Pats stars have come through, including one Dale Durkach. Between 1981 and 1985, he compiled records for the most goals, most assists, and most points in a Regina Pats career, helping the team twice reach the WHL final. The left-handed shooter, standing at about 5'5", caused problems for opponents all over the ice and was a human highlight reel on wood-finished turn-dial TV sets everywhere. He scored a whopping 84 goals in the 1982-83 season, 5 short of all-time record holder Doug Wickenheiser, who had 89 a few years earlier. He had his number 16 retired by the Pats. He scored 50 goals in less than 50 games and was the last Regina Pats player to accomplish that feat. That is, of course, until Connor Bedard came along. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
The NDP is raising concerns over wait times and hospital bed shortages at hospitals in Saskatoon, Regina, and Prince Albert. The NDP obtained an internal report from the Saskatchewan Health Authority detailing safety levels at hospitals across the province in recent days. The report considers Prince Albert's Victoria Hospital, RUH, St. Paul's Hospital, and Regina General at very high risk for overcapacity. The report notes Saskatoon City Hospital was short 10 medical beds, while Victoria Hospital was short 12. The NDP also raising concerns about high wait times ranging from 41 hours at Victoria Hospital to 91 at Regina General.
There are many things that go into a picture such as this. I mean, this is very bleak, but it's not an overnight fix, that's for sure.
The SHA says internal documents used by health system experts should be interpreted with caution when viewed outside their intended context. It also says the wait times refer to the total time from patient registration to discharge from the emergency department, noting that the time it takes to see a doctor. The SHA adds hospitals across the province regularly adjust to fluctuating patient volumes and that a scoring system is used to assess risk levels and guide response at different thresholds. Since Barbie first came on the scene, the iconic doll has worn pretty much everything from a business suit to a spacesuit, and now a ribbon skirt can be added to that list as well. A local person has created and gifted a select number of children at Regina's North Central Family Center with a packaged Barbie doll wearing the traditional dress. Parents are loving the idea as the doll now reflects an authentic version of themselves to Indigenous children. The doll seamstress has donated similar toys to the center in the past, and it does prefer to remain anonymous. Still ahead for you at 6, the latest on what you need to know where you are about what's in store weather-wise. A major Alberta clipper, while a bit delayed, is still tracking into much of southern Saskatchewan, where freezing rain and reduced visibility have already been causing problems in some areas, including Regina, Saskatoon, Moose Jaw, and more. We'll leave things there for now, but stay with us. CTV National News begins in a moment. Take care.